Okay, welcome. Day 2 of Fave Bands A to Z. And day 2 is B. And this is, A is like, oh, okay, this is really hard. I mean, AC/DC didn't even make the cut. It was like, there were like 6 or 7 bands where it's like, oh man, these could all make the cut. But B makes, this series is going to be a challenge, okay? And for someone who's indecisive like me, and there's so much stuff I love, and it's like, what makes the cut, what doesn't, and I don't even know if I have these like the right way round or whatever. Um, oh, I guess I gotta go with my heart. Oh, I don't know. This is really hard. But yeah, okay. So for the winner is going to be Lindsey Buckingham. That's how it's supposed to go, and that's how it looks better. So out of the Lindsey Buckingham is the pick. Out of the Cradle is the album pick. So I'm like looking over. I'm like, the runner-up though. But yeah, I love Lindsey Buckingham. I mean, he's an innovator. Everyone knows what my F pick's gonna be, so that's no fun already. But there you go. He's one of the most innovative guys ever. He's one of the greatest guitarists ever, yet somehow underrated as a guitarist. Like, Rolling Stone only ranked him number 100. It's great he made the top 100, but man, in my opinion, he's way, way up. I love his style, I love his passion, his live performances, and I've always loved his solo work, you know? I love it, almost as much as his work in Fleetwood Mac, I think. And some of these albums are probably just as good, I would say, especially this one. And this one came out, of course, in 1992. He spent like 4 or 5 years making it. He kind of holed himself up to do it. He toured this one. He hadn't toured a solo project before. And of course, he hadn't toured Tango in the Night. That's a very storied chapter of the Fleetwood Mac story. It's a storied story. And yeah, but yeah, anyway, this has some of his best stuff on it. I've said it in the ranking video already. It came out in 1992 and was unfortunately buried by the grunge wave. And these guys, sadly, they have to be the runner-up. I mean, MCA, one of my favorite artists of all time, and Beastie Boys. Love the Beastie Boys, grew up with the Beastie Boys. Again, another group I talked about in the ranking video I did for Beastie Boys. And yeah, Paul's Boutique, I mean, that one wins by a little bit, I guess. It's really hard to even pick a favorite Beastie Boys. But man, yeah, MCA is one of my favorite artists of all time. So I mean, it's and those other two, Mike D, Ad Rock. Oh my God, love those guys, and love those albums. So, but yeah, this has already been so tough. I mean, I could have picked. I was going down through my collection, looking at all the Bs, and it just stunned me. You got the band. I mean, they live up to their name. They're a band. No, just kidding. But they live up to their name where it's like, wow, the ego of calling your band the band. But it's like, no, they got the chops to prove it. I mean, listen to music from Big Pink. Bad Brains with one of the best punk debuts of all time. They just didn't make the cut because I think that debut is so good, and then I'm not quite as interested in the stuff after. A lot of people go, well, Rock for Light is better produced, and it's got some good tracks on it, but it doesn't capture me like the debut did. Battles from New York City, one of the best live bands I've ever seen. One of my favorite drummers of all time in Battles. Black Sabbath, of course, that's one of the obvious choices. And, oh, I should say, I said it on A, but I should say it on B. I should also drop something, but shout-outs to Sea of Tranquility, and, of course, spoilers, he picked Black Sabbath. Beach Boys, of course. Ready for the Summer with the Beach Boys, one of the greatest American bands of all time. Beatles. Can't go wrong with anything Beatles. Beck. Beirut. I was never the biggest fan, but Bee Gees are actually pretty solid, and I do really like some of their songs. They needed an honorable mention. Beach House, Adrian Belew, oh my god, Beta Band, one of my favorites growing up, Big Audio Dynamite. People go, well, I wouldn't pick that. Oh, they were close. Besnard Lakes, I mean, until I realized that I could do solo people in here, it was going to be Beasties and then Besnard. I love Besnard. Anyone that likes psychedelic music or shoegaze should check them out. Black Alicious, of course. Shoutouts and RIP to Gift of Gab. Black Keys. Bowie, one of the greatest artists that's ever graced the planet Earth. Braids. Bosnian Rainbows, one of the coolest live shows I've ever seen. James Brown, the godfather of soul right there, brother. Burial, one of the best electronic artists of all time. Boards of Canada, the duo, amazing stuff from them. Black Star, one of the greatest hip-hop projects of all time. Blink-182, much love to Mark, hope he beats his cancer. Blind Faith, Blind Melon, all the blinds. Blue Oyster Cult, yeah, why not, right? Great group. And hey, these guys were more than a movie, right? Blues Brothers, they were actually legit. Dan Aykroyd's one of my favorite guys of all time, and I love Belushi and everything. They were legit, and they helped me get into the blues. And Blur, one of my favorite bands ever, and the best Britpop band in my humble opinion. So yeah, anyway, tomorrow's C, so we'll check you out then. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for watching, and let me know your favorite B bands.